Since
verify the test team is ready to proceed.
That's correct. And for 725, looking for your go to proceed.
I copy. Engineering Director, Launch Director 212.
Go ahead, Launch Director.
Okay, verify no constraints.
Your engineering community has no constraints. You have our full support, and we are ready to proceed.
Copy. Thank you. Safety Quality Director.
Safety and quality is ready to proceed with FRF.
Copy. Cape Weather, Launch Director.
Launch Director, Cape Weather, we have no constraints.
Copy. Thank you. STS Ops Manager, Launch Director.
All right, sir. Launch Director, Ops Manager, you're cleared to proceed with FRF.
Copy. Thank you, sir. NTD Launch Director, you have go to proceed.
I copy. 731.
OTC, OEX, Oasis is in standby. Got 522. Copy.
This is Shuttle Launch Control. The countdown clock will pick up in just 3 minutes from now. Launch Director Bob Seek has gone through a readiness poll, which included the NASA Test Director, the Engineering Director, Quality, Weather, and final go from Bob Crippen, who's Chairman of the Mission Management Team, and the final authority of the readiness from a program standpoint.
And CCME and JRPS...
About 2 minutes and 30 seconds away from picking up the countdown for this morning's test firing of the 3 main engines on Discovery. When we come out of this hold, the test events will be controlled by the ground launch sequencer up until T-minus 31 seconds when we switch over to the onboard redundant set launch sequencer.
JRPS?
JRPS Manager recorders are running.
Okay, and I have a T-by.
Clock will pick up in 25.
A little less than 2 minutes away from picking up the countdown at 7:21 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, looking for a firing of the 3 main engines on Discovery just about 7:30 a.m. Actually, the ignition of those engines comes approximately 6 seconds prior to 7:30, and the longest firing for one of the engines will be about 22 seconds. On the launch pad at 39B, the pressurization of the Fire-X water system is underway. One minute away from picking up the countdown for the flight readiness firing of Discovery's engines. This will be the 6th flight readiness firing that we have held. Primarily there's one for each orbiter, but in one case we had 2 when a liquid oxygen leak was discovered in one of the main engines.
CCME.
CDME, you're on.
20 seconds away from picking up the countdown clock at the T-minus 9 minute point.
CDC, yeah, for you on LHY, the Deve at 7 minutes will take
10 seconds.
135, and they will be released after 3:20. Do you concur with that?
Yeah, we concur. CLHL.
3, 2, 1, T-minus 9 minutes and counting. The test events are now being controlled by the ground launch sequencer from now until T-minus 31 seconds, when we'll begin a switch over to the onboard redundant set launch sequencer. The ground launch sequencer is part of the launch processing system and operates by relaying commands to the onboard computers, which then report back to the launch processing system that the commands have been executed successfully. The primary job of the onboard computers is to check that all of the launch commit criteria such as propellant loads, temperatures, pressures, and other measurements, are normal and staying within their limits. Coming up on the 8-minute point in our countdown. T-minus 8 minutes and counting, everything proceeding smoothly. The engineer monitoring the ground launch sequencer and onboard computers has verified that both their countdown clocks are counting in sync. The Oasis payload in the orbiter bay is activated at this point and turned to report its findings at the high bit rate. Coming up on T-minus 7 minutes, 30 seconds mark, and retraction of the orbiting, the orbiter access arm. This is the arm that's used by the astronauts to enter the orbiter, and in case of an emergency, it can be placed back into position within about 15 seconds. T-minus 7 minutes and counting. Everything continuing to go smoothly as we move towards a flight readiness firing of the 3 main engines on Discovery at 7:30 this morning. T-minus 6 minutes, 30 seconds and counting. Very quiet here in the firing room. Many of the events during the final phases of the countdown are being controlled by the ground launch sequencer.
JRPS OTC.
JRPS.
Start the APU and hydraulic strip chart recorder.
Recorder running.
HYD, configure hydraulic system for APU start. And APU, configure APUs for start. Copies in work.
T-minus 6 minutes and counting. And normally the pilot would be asked to set the switches in the cockpit into the pre-start position for the auxiliary power units, but that task is being done in the firing room for this test. The APUs will be started at the T-minus 5 minute point.
OTC to CAPU. Go. APU pre-start complete. 3-step 573. Copy.
And OTC hydraulic.
T-minus 5 minutes, 30 seconds and counting. The vehicle is ready for the auxiliary power unit start, and both the APU and the hydraulic power unit on the SRB recorders have been turned on. Coming up on the 5 minute point, and a go for APU start. T-minus 5 minutes and counting. We have a go for orbiter auxiliary power unit start. T-minus 4 minutes, 45 seconds and counting. Liquid oxygen replenishing of the LOX tank has been terminated. At this point, the liquid oxygen fill and drain valve is closed, and liquid oxygen flows back through the main propulsion system to the large storage tank on the pad to cool the engine system slowly down to 270 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit.
Start complete. Copy.
The APU start is complete. The reason for the drain back through the main propulsion system is to ensure that the system is not shocked by the torrent of supercold fluid at the time of ignition. T-minus 4 minutes and counting. The main engine purge has started. If the engine valves which control the purge fail to open, there's an opportunity to try once more, and then a hold at 2 minutes and 30 seconds is called for an additional try. T-minus 3 minutes 40 seconds and counting. The elevon, speed brakes, and rudders are being moved through a pre-programmed pattern to ensure that they were capable of doing their jobs if we were to go for flight. T-minus 3 minutes 25 seconds. The engine gimbal or movement check of the main engines are underway to check their ability to steer the vehicle, but for the flight readiness firing, they only move from the start position to the launch position. Coming up on the 3-minute point in our countdown, T-minus 3 minutes and counting. We have pressurization of the liquid oxygen tank. The main engine gaseous nitrogen purges have been terminated, and the gaseous oxygen vent arm is being retracted from the top of the external tank at about this point. There it goes, standing by for that movement, and the gaseous oxygen vent arm picking up from the tip of the external tank. T-minus 2 minutes 20 seconds and counting. Coming up on the 2-minute point, T-minus 2 minutes and counting. The liquid hydrogen tank flight pressurization has begun. At the 1-minute point, the joint heaters on the solid rocket boosters will be turned off. T-minus 1 minute 30 seconds and counting. Everything going smoothly as we look for a flight readiness firing at 7:30 this morning. Coming up on the 1-minute point in our countdown.
Minus 1 minute.
T-minus 1 minute and counting. At 31 seconds, there will be a go for the auto sequence start, and the sound suppression water has also been armed. The hydrogen burn igniters have been armed. They'll be fired at T-minus 10 seconds to burn off any residual hydrogen gas under the main engines. T-minus 31 seconds and counting. We have a go for auto sequence start, switching control of the countdown to the onboard computers, and we are on the onboard computers. 20 seconds. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. We have a go for main engine start. 7. We have a cutoff. We have cutoff of the start sequence. We are in the process of safing. At this point,
passes 101 and HTT monitor for hydrogen.
we are in the process of safing of the main propulsion system out on the pad.
Sequence 3 and GLS is go for orbiter AQ shutdown.
We have a go for the auxiliary power unit shutdown. We have moved the orbiter access arm back into position at the orbiter. This is not necessary at this point, but if this were a launch sequence with the crew on board, this would be the procedure. At this point, we have not heard a reason. We got up to the point of a go for the main engine start. We then got a shutdown at the T-minus 5 second point.
And CDSS, report the arm position.
Arms extended and locked.
We have had a indication that an engine controller reported it was not ready to go, and led to the shutdown on the pad. Going through the safing procedure, everything going very smoothly as we move from the readiness for the firing.
Hold on engine 2.
And will be standing by to hear more about the reason for not being able to proceed to the firing.
System safety check, stage 708. CSL, can you verify substep 1? No verifies. And CDPS?
Yes, verifies 2.
CSME?
SME verifies 3 and 4. FPL verifies 5 and 6.
LHY?
LHY verifies 7, 8, and 9.
C-Lock?
Fox verifies 10, 11.
Copy. CHTD?
HCD verifies 12.
At the present time, the console operators here in the firing room are going through safing checklists to ensure that the launch vehicle is in a safe configuration. The countdown got to the T-minus 5 second point prior to ignition of the main engines, and there was a cutoff, and we have completed the safing of the orbiter, and will be recycling to the computer programs that are used during this particular phase out of the computer control that was used normally for the firing of the engines and would be used during a liftoff if this were a intended launch.
And MTD TVC,
Go ahead.
16 through 19, not performed.
Not performed, copy. And C-Locks and MPL, are you ready for G1 to G9 transition?
C-Locks ready. FPL ready.
OTC?
Copy. TPS copies on transition work.
The launch team continuing to go through the procedures here, which are necessary to recycle the countdown. That will be recycled probably back to the T-minus 20-minute hold point in the count initially. The engineers trying to analyze the problems that caused the shutdown of the countdown procedures and signaled that the engines and the system was not ready to go for the flight readiness firing. We have heard that there was a controller problem in engine number 2, but that really requires analysis to be completed to find out why that would have stopped the countdown. At this point, that analysis has not been made. So we have gone through a very smooth countdown from the time that we picked up yesterday afternoon with the successful loading of the external tank. Have gone through the remaining part only to be stopped just after a go for the main engine ignition. During this period, we'll be going through completion of all of the safing and recycling of the countdown. We'll be standing by to hear whether there is anything more that can be done this morning. This is Shuttle Launch Control.
CDPS for step 35, RSIS for DE2 is C11. Copy.
NTD, CCME.
Go ahead.
The stat abort was caused by main engine 2. Fuel bleed valve did not go closed with a start enable command.
Okay, did not go closed.
Fuel bleed valve did not go closed.